Hello, Cinnabon. I say hello cuz I already saw you in the morning. Cinnabon stayed inside until about 3:30 in the morning. Yes, he did. Yep, he stayed in my bed. Then he wanted out at about 3 o'clock. He ate breakfast and took off. Yes, you did. Today's a special day. We're going to record the Q&A. Probably start with some in the morning. That way I have less to do tonight. Yeah, what do you think about that, buddy? Pretty exciting, huh? Ooh, you know what today is also? Yes, it's Saturday too, and you're going to get some wet cat food, okay? Yep, in a minute. Look what we got. Yes, we do. That's exactly what it is, wet cat food. Already had some dry earlier today. Ooh, there we go. Good boy. You enjoy that. Now let's get to some questions. Here's the first question. If you were able to choose another era to live in, which one would it be? I'm curious because of your interest in various military memorabilia. I thought about that. That's a good question. I would probably have to say an adult in the early 80s. Because then I could buy all kinds of machine guns and it would be far cheaper than they are today. So that's kind of a funny reason. Also, I don't know. I think I'd like to work as a mechanic in the 80s. That's when cars were less computerized. And I know it sounds funny as an IT guy, but when I'm working on cars, I hate dealing with computers. Do you know if Cinnabon belongs to the previous owner of the house since he came around the house in the beginning? He came a little bit after the beginning. I'd probably say about a year. And I did check with the previous homeowner. I sent him a photo. He said, nope, never had a cat. But I think he did have a cat because there's a cat door in the basement and I found cat toys. So that may have not have been true. I can only imagine. But the neighbors I talked to said that the cat just showed up one day, so I trust them. How do you afford your house if you live all by yourself? Kind of a different question. I guess there's people that have houses by themselves. I know some people, even years ago, I remember people that had, a decent job or able to afford a house. I suppose I made some good choices growing up and what I wanted to do and investments and so on and so forth. And that's what led me to have a decent house at my age, I suppose. Do you plan to get an Instagram account? I did have an Instagram, but it wasn't active. And some of you, like 30 or so, found it before I had it active. So I kind of prepped it a few weeks ago. And then I just started releasing stuff on it recently. So yes, and I actually do have one now if you haven't noticed. The link is going to be in the description to it. It's pretty interesting. I like it so far. There's a bit of a learning curve to it, but it's not too bad. And it's fun because people can reach out to me easier through there. There's a lot of questions, by the way. There's about 10 pages. So I don't think I'll divide this in 2 videos. I think I'll keep it all in one just for convenience. Hey, you all done? Yeah? You want to move this? Oh, look at Kitty in the laptop. Now you can see all my creepy tabs open. I have, let's see, YouTube. Yes. Sebastian Bach interview from Skid Row. Yeah. Good boy. Where would you like to continue this, Cinnabon? Oh, that's okay. Oh, let's get some pets in. Little pet break, huh? Good boy. What is your friends and family's reaction to you adopting a cat and then Cinnabon growing popular on YouTube? At first, they thought it was pretty cool. Even before YouTube was big with Cinnabon, people thought it was interesting. They'd ask me about it, like, "Hey, this is the guy that mutual friends or family like work parties would be like, hey, this guy took in a wild cat," and they'd ask questions about it. They were intrigued. I thought it was cute. Some people thought it was above and beyond and not so much a positive fashion. They'd be like, "Oh, we just shoot those where I live," or, "You would have did it a favor just putting them down." I thought that was terrible. But most of the comments were overwhelmingly positive, and they thought it was cool for the most part. Parents, same thing. They thought it was neat. As far as the growing popularity in YouTube, a lot of people think it's very strange, but most of them would think it's really cool. Most of the comments that I get in real life, if you will, are positive, and people think it's amazing that Cinnabon has such a huge following. And it was definitely unexpected. And even as an IT guy, I'm blown away by it. Really am. Like, how does this happen? Everyone loves Cinnabon. So I do my best to keep people in the loop on him. Isn't that right, buddy? Yeah. You're a good kitty. Okay, next question. Do you carry Cinnabon on your shoulder like burping a baby, a shoulder cat? Does he like to be held at all? First he did not, but now he's fairly used to it. Aren't you, buddy? Next question. Is Cinnabon allowed to sleep on your bed? Yes, as you probably heard earlier in this video, he slept in my bed for probably 5 hours last night. He slept kind of between my calves, I guess. Then at 3:30 he wanted out, so I let him out. What is Cinnabon's favorite toy? I would have to say either the crinkle balls or the string that I made, which you saw both or all of them in videos. He seemed to like that. Can you tell the difference between Cinnabon's meows? Absolutely. Aw, lots of meows. Aw, what meow was that? That was, I want you to pet me more. Yeah. Or I'm just happy. I'm just content. Does Cinnabon still use his litter box? Yeah, when he needs to. He doesn't go to the bathroom all that often. Okay, so you post cat videos, but do you watch any other cat channels? Not really cat channels. I watch random cat videos sometimes. Another part of this question, what type of videos do you enjoy watching on YouTube? Has Cinnabon watched any bird videos? What types? A lot of gun videos. Certain car videos, especially when I'm repairing something. And just animals. I like the Monkey Boo channel. I like a lot of prank channels. There's so many to list. Social experiment kind of stuff. I watch just about everything on YouTube. Has Cinnabon watched any bird videos? Yes, and he pulled off one of the keys in my keyboard, so I fixed it. So he does it. He like thinks it's a window or he thinks it's real and he kind of attacks us, so I don't do that often. Hey, you get mad at me? That was I'm upset at you, meow. What do you want, buddy? You want some treats or something? This is an unusual situation for him because of the laptop next to him. Will Cinnabon have any siblings in the future? Or do you just plan on having him as a solo pet? I plan on having him as a solo pet until another cat walks in my life. I'm not just going to voluntarily pick one up, but you know, if the good Lord sees it fit for me to have another cat, it'll work itself out, right? That's how that works. So once the camera is off, does your voice with Cinnabon change? Not really. I was thinking about this one because I don't really think about that kind of stuff, but it does not. I talk just as ridiculous as I do right now with him, which right now isn't really ridiculous, but yeah, I baby talk him all the time. It's always been that way. Does Cinnabon sleep indoors at night? Not usually. He does sometimes if I need him to be around the next morning, like going to the vet or whatever. I'll keep him in overnight, but he doesn't like to be in overnight usually. He'll go to the door, he'll paw at the door, and I'm like, sorry, buddy, I can't let you out right now. But I usually let him out because that's what he wants. I try to be, inclusive of his needs. I think he wants some treats right now, so we'll take a break and give him some treats. Yeah. Ooh, treat time. Here we go. Good boy. Another one? Aw. You dropped a little piece. There you go. Here's another one. Ooh, yummy. Can you try to get this one out of my palm? Mm-hmm. Oh, nope. Oh, there we go. Good boy. All right, we'll go ahead and continue with the questions. All right, Cinnabon's in his favorite spot. We'll go ahead and keep the camera on him. We'll continue on through here. Is Cinnabon microchipped now? I don't think so. I did not have him chipped at the vet. I may consider that in the future. People ask it all the time. I'll think about it. I need to research that too, because I'm sure there's nothing wrong with putting a chip in a pet, but I want to look into it. I'm sure it's fine, but I want to be fully informed. I already kind of answered this. Do your parents like Cinnabon? Yes, they do. Everybody likes Cinnabon pretty much, don't they? Cinnabon's really nice to both of my parents. The last time they were over, unfortunately, Cinnabon was a little sick, so I didn't interact with him that often. He was still feeling some of the after effects of the vet visit. What is your favorite historical piece in your home, and what kind of wet food do you feed Cinnabon? Well, my favorite historical piece, I'll show you a video of. It's the Zastava M70 AB2. Most of you will not know what that is, so I'll show you a video. It's a variant of the AK-47. 1.6 millimeter stamped steel receiver, underfolding stock in this one. This one is semi-automatic. It was imported as a parts kit, so the original receiver was a machine gun, and it was torched into several pieces and then reassembled on an American-made receiver and matched. The rest of the kit, or parts, are totally original, except for the receiver and a few other U.S. parts for compliance purposes. So what's unique about this rifle is not only does it have service history, it has trench art. The soldier that had that carved some things in there. This is a Templar cross. It's a Christian symbol, so this is most likely carried by a Serbian Orthodox Christian. We have a name scratched in there. flip it over, on the other side, we have the name Darko, and looks like some type of pattern on there. You can see it's built in 1989. The original serial number is also there. And then on the other underside of the handguard, we have the Serbian Orthodox Christian cross. I believe that. Get some better lighting there. So pretty interesting. This is completely functional, 100%, except it's only semi-automatic. It's not fully automatic. In a previous life it was. All right, this is most of the popular food, or the most common food I give him. I don't know how to pronounce it. They come in big packs here. Oh, he saw that. Oh, I'm sorry. You already got wet food, buddy. Yeah, you already got wet food. All right. Ooh, so does Cinnabon get a veto on your potential romantic partners? Hey, if you ever were to show a huge negative sign towards somebody, I'd consider that for sure. Strongly consider that. Have you ever gotten mad at Cinnabon? Yeah. When he bites me sometimes, if he play a little rough, it's mostly my fault, or if he like scratches at furniture. He sprayed a few times. I was mad at him. I kicked him out of the house for a couple weeks when the first time I did that. It was when I would watch Theo, he would get really mad and he sprayed a few times. So I would get mad at him for that. I guess that's the only thing that really he does that annoys me. I mean, everything else is pretty normal. How has Cinnabon impacted your life? Well, he's definitely improved my life. I have a lot more to do now. It keeps my time occupied, which is good. Not that I was bored before. I always found something to do. But I know that people really like watching the videos, and it genuinely helps people. So I really think that that's great. It gives me more purpose because these videos are therapeutic to some people. And also people live vicariously through them, and I think that's really good. So we do our best, don't we? We like to accommodate people in that way. And it requires... The videos themselves don't require a whole lot of effort. It's keeping up with the comments, which I'm not going to be able to do as much as I normally can. It's overwhelming. Not that the comments are bad. They're 99.9% amazing. It's just hard to respond to all of them. But I do appreciate them, and I try to read all of them. But thank you for that. Did you ever think your channel, which was mainly about weapons, would turn into more of a cat channel? Not really, even though I did put cat videos up. It might have been in the back of my mind, but I wouldn't have known it gone to this level so fast. Question for Cinnabon. What's your favorite thing about having a human? Cinnabon, what's your favorite thing about having a human? What's your favorite thing about having a human? Anything? Is it wet food? Is it a nice cool place in the summer? Well, it sounds like he's pleading the fifth on that, which is okay. That's admirable, right? He's a little libertarian cat. That's good. Okay, that was only 1 of 10 pages so far, so I'm going to try to get through a little faster, just out of respect for your time. I know Cinnabon likes you best, but who does he like second best? I'm guessing your brother, but just in case your parents have climbed their way up Cinnabon's cuddle list. Gosh, I don't really know. Pretty much anyone that comes over he likes. He seems to like my mom more than anyone else so far, and my brother because he looks like me. Might you try to combine your love of military service with Cinnabon? Oh, I definitely do. You've seen that a few times. More so, maybe. So I have a question. After all this time, would you prefer Cinnabon over a dog? Yes. What are your plans for Cinnabon this winter when it snows? Also, where do you get your Soviet-related weapons and memorabilia? I'm going to try to keep Cinnabon inside as long as I can in the winter until he wants out. We'll see how he does inside by himself for a while. He's okay alone for several hours. I've done it before. But we'll see how we'll see. I want to keep him in a while, but he's still going to want outside, especially in the warmer winter days. We have some warmer days too in winter. It's not that crazy in Michigan. Just get a lot of snow. It's not that cold. Well, it can be, but it's not like North Dakota or something like that. Where do you get your Soviet stuff? All over. Obviously all over the world. The mediums I get them, friends overseas. eBay's a big one. That's probably best. Mostly friends, connections, eBay. Those are the two biggest ones. Other web forums, like gun-related forums. Does Cinnabon ever bring you presents when he comes back from his adventures? Oh yeah, definitely mice parts. And full mice bodies in the driveway and sidewalk. Have you thought about making a little purchase throughout your woods for him to have a good place to hang out? Yeah, I thought about it. I have wood piles, a lot of wood piles in my woods because I cut trees that are dead or whatever, and make them into log piles. He likes to sit on top of those, so those kind of have that purpose. If Cinnabon ever brings home a friend, would you consider adopting he or she? Yes, I would. When did he show up at your door? Let's see, that would have been when I put food out around August 2017, I think, on or around. Have you had any other cats or pets in the past? Not at this house. I did in my parents. We had never had a cat, but we had dogs, German Shepherds, and turtle, hamsters, that type of stuff. What is Cinnabon's favorite sleeping place? Probably right here or in my bed or outside. He likes to sleep next to a wood pile. I've seen him. Or just he likes in the weeds. Have you officially converted to a cat person? Yes. Based on personality, if you could compare Cinnabon to one Marvel universe, who would it be? I think his name is Goose, the cat in that movie. Captain America. I think Captain Marvel, excuse me. I forget the name of the species, but it looks like Cinnabon, just crazy. It'll swallow you. Very dangerous. Just like Cinnabon. Is Cinnabon friendly with new people? Yes. He will be a little shy at first, but it doesn't take him long to warm up to anyone. Putting a collar on Cinnabon? I've talked about this before. Probably not, because unless it's breakaway, but even the breakaway ones can be dangerous. You don't want to have the cat strangled. I get there's a risk with anything, but probably not on a collar. Have you thought about planting his own patch of catnip? Not really. That's interesting. I'll look into that. What are your plans for the future? Do you wish to have kids someday, a partner, more pets? Definitely would like to have a partner and kids someday. What do your coworkers think about you and Cinnabon being on YouTube, or YouTube stars? I kind of touched on that before. They think it's incredible and weird in a positive way, like weird as in unexpected. And they ask about it often, which is kind of cool. And really, if people ask, what'd you do this weekend? Well, if I didn't hang out with anyone, I hung out with my cat. Or my cat and other people. Whoa, look at that. I'm sure this will probably be the longest video we've ever done. You and Cinnabon love watching movies together. Are there any TV shows you like to watch? Or do you get cable in the wilderness? We don't get cable out here. Unfortunately, it's like a mile away. So basically out here you have to have either satellite or stream stuff, which isn't fantastic because the internet out here is pretty bad too. Favorite TV shows? My favorite TV show is older. It's called Fastlane, 2002 to 2003. Cop show, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Bill Bellamy, and Peter Facinelli. Modern shows are more modern. Breaking Bad, it's a little older. Better Call Saul's a good one. Man in the High Castle is okay. That's pretty much it for TV shows. Most of which I've watched with Cinnabon. As far as movies go, I think there's another question on that, so we'll answer that later. We all know Cinnabon has an important side job outside. Do you ever have reservations about letting him out? Oh yeah. If he wanted to stay inside all the time, I would do it, but he seems to really want to be outside a lot of the time. Does Cinnabon spend a night in the house now? And more time during the day in the house? I kind of answered this already. He's in at night sometimes. Not overnight usually, but he has spent the night. He just did last night, so. Does he spend more time during the day? Yes, especially when I'm here. If I take time off or, the weekend he's in most of the day. Okay, but for cereal, who dislikes a video of a handsome kitty? That's a good question. There's always going to be haters no matter what you do, right? You could be feeding starving children and doing videos on it and have everything perfect, and you're going to get people that dislike it. So that's just the world we live in. And that's okay. People have a right to do that, right? How did you give him that name and why? Also, what do you do for work? I work in IT, that's information technology. How did I give him that name and why? In Better Call Saul, there's a restaurant called Cinnabon, and there is a real restaurant called Cinnabon, and he looks kind of like a cinnamon roll. You look alerted to something, buddy. Everything okay? All right, next few questions here. Do you ever consider to create a YouTube membership or a Patreon account for your channel, or open a mailbox for fan mail? I'm not sure what YouTube membership means. Patreon, probably not. Mailbox for fan mail, probably not. We get it. I already have a lot of stuff, and Cinnabon has a lot of toys. I don't want to flood the house with things, and also there's security concerns with that. Given the first steps of the channel and memorabilia around the house, do you still target practice shooting? Oh yeah, all the time. Well, I shouldn't say all the time. I used to go all the time, but after buying a house, I couldn't afford to go shooting every weekend like I used to, or every other weekend. So I go a couple times a year typically. What's Cinnabon's favorite thing to hunt or chase outside? Based on what I've seen him hunt and play with mice, mostly play mice. I haven't really seen it. Well, I have somewhat. Birds. Chipmunks. He loves playing with chipmunks and frogs. I've seen him with frogs before. Let's see here. How old am I? I'm 28. Did you expect such popularity? Definitely not. What gave you the idea of putting up videos? I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of cool. People like cat videos, so I just put them up there, and they went unnoticed for a couple of years. Do you think Cinnabon would want another feline mate to star in his videos? I don't know. He doesn't. I've never really seen him positively react to another cat. He's territorial, but I'm sure there's always an exception. There's only one, the one that looked kind of like him, that he seemed to not get mad at through the glass. Do you brush Cinnabon often? No, I should brush him more. I don't. I need to do another brushing video, or just brush him in general. What about feeding him treats for handling hairballs? I don't know anything about that. I guess I can look into it. Have you ever caught Cinnabon damaging or breaking any of your memorabilia you keep around the house? No, he's really good about not breaking things he shouldn't, which is nice. Do you love Cinnabon? Yes, I do. What are your favorite video games of all time? The original Doom series. Doom and Doom 2, definitely 1990s, early 90s. And the Megavox Odyssey 2, the late 70s and 80s. It's a console, old console. Do you like cooking? I'm still getting used to that. I don't really cook a whole lot, but you've seen some of what I cook. But yeah, I don't mind it. What's your favorite food in Cinnabon? Cinnabon loves wet cat food. My favorite food, I like pizza and chicken wings. What do you use to film, if you don't mind me asking? I use an iPhone, an older iPhone. Older by modern standards, I guess. It's only a couple years old. I like it. It's easy. Works for everything else. I hope this is appropriate. Of course. What do you think of your brother's work? I think it's absolutely fantastic. For those of you who don't know my brother's channel is called Anxiety War. He does a lot of stuff, social experiments, and most notably, he hunts down, I shouldn't say hunt down, that kind of comes off as aggressive. He exposes online child predators. So I think that's fantastic. There's a lot of controversy around that, but I think it's great. He's doing the public a great service for free too. So a lot of people don't like that, but if you don't like that, I'm sorry. He has every right to do it. Isn't breaking the law, so what are you going to do, right? You like it or you don't. I like it. I think it's good. Are you going to buy a Yeet cannon? I looked that up because I didn't know what that was. It seems to be like a gun that's excessively powerful in a size that's impractical. I sort of have one. It's an M92, is a Stava M92. It's an AK pistol, basically an AK-47 without a stock and a short barrel. It's not the most practical weapon, but it really is in a way. It's easily concealable, and it would be a good response object. Does Cinnabon have any favorite cat food flavor? Has he ever begged you for food? Yeah, he in the morning he meows at me when his food's empty, so I give him food. His favorite food, it's hard to say. He seems to like wet food in general. As far as flavor, he doesn't seem to care about flavor. If it's wet, he'll eat it. Would you ever consider giving another homeless cat the same opportunity as you did Cinnabon? Absolutely. If another cat came around in a similar fashion as Cinnabon, and if it wasn't anyone else's, I would. Yep. How did you find Cinnabon? Cinnabon found me. He's just wandering around my yard, and I put out stuff for him, and he ate it. Would you consider adopting a kitten? Yeah, under the right circumstances, I guess. I've touched on this before. Were you a dog person before you met Cinnabon? Yes, I didn't have one at the time, but yes, I was a dog person and still am in a way. Not that I'm not a cat person now, right? If you ever have to be away from home for an extended period of time, are you going to have Cinnabon looked after? Yes. Or keep him in the house. Probably won't keep him in the house unless it's like winter, but I do have people checking him when I'm gone for a while. Does Cinnabon prefer 556 or 762? Oh, he's a 762 kitty. When was the first time you literally saw him, or did he come up to the back door first? The first time I saw him that I remember was him just walking around the backwoods, me thinking it's a neighbor cat. He looked kind of hungry though. I vividly remember him watching fireflies early on too. I learned somewhere that cats like to drink fresh water, so maybe Whom and Dad can get you a water fountain to celebrate 25K plus subs. Maybe. We'll see about that. I need to play with the sink with him. Some cats like water out of the sink. I'll try that someday. Does Cinnabon's house have insulation? In the winter, I do keep a bunch of blankets in there and towels, which act as insulation. What are yours and Cinnabon's thoughts on possibly becoming a well-known YouTube channel? For the better, for the worse? I think mostly for the better. I think it's pretty interesting. The internet is a strange place. Are you willing to continue making videos with Cinnabon a year or two from now? Oh, I plan to, for sure. Internet is indeed a strange place. Not always bad. With any great invention, you get the good and the bad, right? As far as becoming a more well-known YouTube channel, of course I don't have a problem with that. It's just, it can be overwhelming keeping up with all the comments and stuff. So as I mentioned before, it's getting harder and harder to do. What did you go to college for? Information technology, Bachelor of Science. Any advice for someone thinking about working in the IT field? Yeah, there's a lot you can do in the IT field. You want to pick something that you know there are jobs in. Look into stuff that you really want to do, because I mean, an IT programmer is a different person than a help desk technician. One of them involves a lot of people, and the other one does not. So just kind of research what specifically in IT you want to do first, and how realistic the job market is for it. Has Cinnabon ever had any aggressive behavior towards you? It was playful for the most part. I wouldn't say it was aggressive. He's bit me a few times, but it was while playing. He rarely seems angry. Have you ever bathed Cinnabon? No, cats are self-cleaning, most of them. I would never bathe them unless he got into something really bad or had to. You've shown early videos where he was so skittish and wouldn't let you come very close, even on the other side of the glass door. What was the turning point, or what was the moment when all that changed? It changed gradually. Eventually he was comfortable with me being seen behind the glass, and then as soon as I opened the slider, he'd freak out, even when he was hiding in his house. So over a long time and a lot of treats and talking, I finally got him to approach and to where we could pet him. So it was very progressive. Are you processing the MREs okay? They can be rough on the tummy. So MRE, meal ready to eat. Yeah, I process them okay. I don't eat a whole lot, so it just kind of works itself through. Are there wolves or other dangerous animals where you live? And are you not afraid Cinnabon could become their prey? Wolves are highly unlikely. I don't think we have wolves here. They have a potential to exist. Same with bears. They're in the area, but I've never seen or heard of them in this neighborhood. I do have some concerns with that, but Cinnabon can hold his own in the woods as far as running away. You've seen him climb trees. He knows how to get away from stuff. Not that bears can't climb trees, but he's street smart, right? Or wood smart. What's your best advice your brother has given you about your growing channel? He's given me a lot of advice. Probably the best was don't stray too far from the content that people enjoy. So that's why it's really heavy on cat. And then, he's just in my life a lot more, so it's convenient that way. And a lot of other advice, but that's probably the biggest one. What is your favorite type of music and movies? Movies, action, some comedy, science fiction. I like Star Wars, Die Hard, like the Indiana Jones type movies. Almost all movies, really. Favorite music? Definitely rock of all kinds for the most part. I like Guns N' Roses, some AC/DC. Guns N' Roses is my favorite. I especially like their last album, Chinese Democracy, because if you listen to that album, it's mastered like near perfectly, because it's hard. I don't want to get into the audio stuff, but it's mastered really well. It's very layered. Do you recognize the people who always comment on your videos? Absolutely. There's a ton. I'm not going to name them all. I wish I had time to, but there are a lot of people that comment all the time, and they have conversations with myself and others, and I think that's fantastic. It's community building, which is good. How's Theo doing? Oh, I ask Theo's mom all the time how he's doing, and Theo's dad when I see him. He's doing good. Do you think there's a chance Theo and Cinnabon will be besties in the future? I hope so. It's possible. I might try that next time or the time after. Looks like Cinnabon has the hiccups. What brand of cat food? Meow Mix. The store brand of Meow Mix is what I would get him before. Now I'm getting him a little bit nicer stuff. And wet cat food, Eames or Iams or whatever. You've seen it earlier in this video. If Cinnabon were an HK, which model would he be? HK, Heckler and Koch. He would be the USP, I think. Old school, rugged, and reliable. Or the G3, same thing. Do you ever pick him up and hold him for cuddles? Oh, yeah. I have a suspicion that while you sound manly and macho while playing with Cinnabon on the camera, once the camera's off, you're suddenly speaking with Cinnabon in a less manly way and voice. Can you confirm? Yeah, I can confirm or deny. I pretty much, as I mentioned before, act the same. Would you ever attach a small GoPro on Cinnabon so we can see what he does when you go out? This gets asked all the time. I don't think I will, because unless I can find a safe way to do it, we'll see. I don't think I will, though. It can be dangerous. Maybe a bit of an odd question, but did your brother inspire you to make a YouTube channel? Well, I've had a YouTube for years. He, if anything, inspired me to be more active on it for sure. And I did not expect it to explode like it did recently. When you start selling merch, what would be your slogan? My vote is for what a good little kitty. That would be great. I'm thinking about it. My brother had a good one that I won't repeat on this channel, and I'm thinking about it, but it's probably not good. Can you give me the weight, height, age of Cinnabon? His weight's 10 pounds. I'm not sure in height. That might be, I don't know how you measure height in a cat. Age, people ask me this all the time. I know he's at least 2. That's as long as I've seen him. He is probably between 2 and 6 is my best guess. I don't know, though. He's at least 2 because that's how long I've seen him. He seemed younger when I first met him, but he was about the same size, minus his being too thin before. Would you have ever gotten a cat as a pet if Cinnabon had not come to your door? Probably not. I've been offered cats before. Never really wanted one because I know they can be destructive and smell. I don't think I would have gotten one if it wasn't for him. Was Cinnabon the first cat to show up at your door that way? Absolutely, yes. First and really only. Oh, yeah. I shouldn't say the only. He was the first. There's other ones, but they're neighbors' cats. Do you have any future plans for you guys? I'm just going to keep on doing what we're doing. Any updates on the woodchuck? Get asked that a lot. I have not seen the woodchuck. The woodchuck looked sickly or injured. Both, possibly. I believe the woodchuck's no longer with us, unfortunately. Is your car running okay? I've never heard the result with that. Yes, this is probably in reference to the battery. Showed signs of a bad battery. It still started, but it was started hard. I replaced the battery. It's good to go. Good rule is when you have a bad battery, replace it. Do you think you'll ever start feeding the deer? No, probably not. Can you just mention me? It'll make my day. Haha. Okay, I'll mention you. Thank you for the comment, Queen Snookers. I hope I said that right. How much has Cinnabon changed your life? I've mentioned this before. He's definitely brought a lot more brightness into my life. So thank you for that. Question for Cinnabon. How do you feel about 25,000 subs plus? How will you celebrate getting 25 subs? Well, I don't know, Cinnabon. How do you feel about 25 subs? How do you feel about 25K plus? Well, he seems indifferent about that. How do we celebrate? Just hang out with Cinnabon and get him some wet cat food, and that's usually how we celebrate. Every day, basically, right? How long does Cinnabon spend inside the house? Usually several hours a day, even when at work. Do you ever feed Cinnabon any human food? Not really. He doesn't really like human food when I try to give it to him, so not much, if any. Except salmon and stuff when we make salmon. Would you consider putting Cinnabon's cat house up high so when he is outside a predator can't get him? I thought about that. It's already elevated on my deck. Predators can still get on the deck, of course, but maybe. We'll see. How do you personally feel about all the attention you've gotten? It can be overwhelming, but it's overall positive. You and Cinnabon both have fans. What is that like for you? It's definitely overwhelming. As I mentioned, I wouldn't say it's strange. It's nice just to know that people are interested in it. I know that helps people, so I like that. How have your feelings or responsibility for Cinnabon changed over the relationship? I feel a little more responsible than before. Before I'm like, oh, it's a stray cat. I'll just put out food. Now I'm more engaging with him. To take him to the vet, make him feel more like yours? I guess. A lot of people are like, is he officially yours? And I'm like, what does that mean? For years, people mention that. I'm like, what does it mean he's officially mine? I don't know. He comes over every day, and I let him leave, and he comes back, so I guess you could say that, yeah, I'm his and he's mine, right? Do you like to cook? Yeah, it's not bad. I don't mind. Depends what it is. It's fun. It's a learning experience usually for me because I'm kind of new at it still. You seem to have an affinity for all things military. Did you ever consider enlisting? I did when I was younger. I considered. How will you celebrate your 25K? Like I mentioned, we just kind of had a little kitty party. Nothing big. What happened? 1 month ago, I had never heard of Lexistop, and then all of a sudden, I get the feral cat video in my YouTube feed. It seems like we all did it at the same time. Yet you have Cinnabon videos from a year ago. Was this just YouTube's algorithms? Yes. I can't explain it. It just happens that way. Yes. YouTube's algorithms are a really interesting thing. Did Cinnabon ever use the small doghouse outside again? Like when he's waiting for you after work? Oh yeah, he uses it all the time in the colder months. This time of year it probably gets too hot, so he's not in there all the time, but in the winter months he uses it a lot when he's not inside my house. Good morning, Cinnabon Alex. How are you these few days? Oh, we're fantastic, thank you. Would you consider making Cinnabon an indoor cat? Maybe as he gets older. He seems to enjoy outside life a lot, so I wouldn't deny him that right now. But when he's older, maybe I will. If you could ask Cinnabon 3 questions, what would they be? Oh, what a great question. Thought about this a little bit. I would ask him if he knew how old he was, where he came from, and I'd also ask him what would he like in his life right now to be different. How long did it take Cinnabon to warm up to you? Several weeks, if not a couple months. This one's asking me when I'm going to put a cat flap or a cat door in my house. There's not really a good place to do that from a security standpoint. I'm thinking about it, but probably not. And I don't want other animals to come in here that are not welcome, unlike him. So, loaded question. If you met a woman Cinnabon didn't like, would you trust his instincts? I would trust them, but I would have to think about it a lot because it's still an animal, you know. But they do have good senses about them, you know. What were your experiences with cats growing up that made you think Cinnabon, or pre-Cinnabon, that you were not a cat person? I don't know. I didn't like most cats' attitudes. Cinnabon acts like a dog a lot of the time, so that kind of helped with that. They seemed just didn't care about anything. Cinnabon has a little bit of that because he's still a cat, but he's still very much like a dog. Follows me around, talks to me, which I never really had experience with most cats before, which I thought was great. So he had changed that about me. Is Lex short for anything or a nickname? Very few people call me Lex. I never wanted to be called Lex, but some people just do because my first name is Alex, so I get called Lex or Al sometimes, or Lexi or Lexington. I have a lot of names. What is something that you're still learning about Cinnabon or being a cat owner? Just, I guess, cat schedules, his nocturnal tendencies, and wanting to just be wild and stuff like that. Is there anything that you dislike about being a cat owner? I don't like having a litter box in the house, but I get it. You have to sometimes. Did you ever think that you would get this far with your relationship with Cinnabon? No, I never thought I'd be able to even pet him, really. I thought that was amazing when I was able to pet him. I had dreams about petting him before I ever thought I could. What are your feelings on your channel getting hijacked by Cinnabon? I think it's fantastic. What is your favorite wind down activity with or without Cinnabon? Well, let's see. Wind down. Movie, a nice dinner with some friends, having a couple drinks and food, really just relaxing, going for a walk, simple stuff, sitting on the deck, whatever. How did you get into your hobby of collecting retro pieces and ammo? I don't know, just kind of movies and video games, I guess. I just kind of got into that. I find interest in history. When I pick up an old object, I just kind of feel, it sounds weird, but I just kind of have an attachment towards stuff like that, I guess. What makes Cinnabon different from other cats? And do you ever see him climbing trees? I do see him climbing trees that you've seen in a past video, which probably wasn't uploaded at the time of this video, or the Q&A request video. What makes him different from other cats? Well, he's like a lot of other cats, but he seems more dog-like, as I mentioned before. What does Cinnabon do when he becomes angry? He meows and he swats at my hand and bites me. What is his favorite type of toy, a wand or a ball? He seems to like crinkle balls and string. Do you think Cinnabon recognizes any words? I think he does. It's hard to say, but I think he does. I believe cats are smarter than dogs, and dogs can recognize words. They just respond differently, so I think he doesn't. Cinnabon is a long name. Have you ever thought of a shorter nickname? Yeah, but I really haven't found one. Cinnabon seems to work. Would you make Cinnabon merchandise? I've thought about it. If I ever do, I'll do stickers and magnets, probably. I'm thinking about it. What are the burrs that you pull off Cinnabon from time to time? Where do they come from? I get this question a lot. There's a video on that, but in case you haven't seen that, burrs are small seeds that attach to fluffy animals and people's clothes mainly, or arms or whatever. Hairy parts of anything. Much like Velcro, and the seeds eventually drop off and grow into whatever they are. So it's a natural way of propagation of plant life. Random question. Were your family and friends the first ones to subscribe and watch your videos as your support? Yes, they were. Definitely. Does Cinnabon have furball problems? I've only seen him cough up one before, so I don't think he does. This is like one in a few years. Did you know that you can buy bulk order wet cat food for Cinnabon through Dollar Tree? I did not. I'll look into that though. Thank you. What are the things you appreciate about Cinnabon? I like how he relaxes a lot, as you can see, and I like how he'll stay around me. He'll hang out at the campfire with me. He just hangs out with you. He likes to be around you, which is great. What are your favorite films and books? I've mentioned this already. Films, Star Wars, a bunch of other action films, some dramas, war movies, and comedies, anything really. Books, I don't really read a whole lot. I like antique books. I collect antique books, but rarely read them. I used to really like Star Wars books. I need to get into that again. I don't read a whole lot, though. Most of the reading I do is online. What was the worst thing you ever tasted? Probably I accidentally had expired milk once. That wasn't great. If you had a whole day to do whatever you would like, what would you do? Wow. Whole day to do whatever. Honestly, if it was a nice fall day or spring, I would love just to, and I've done this before, just be out in my woods with the chainsaw. That sounds creepy, doesn't it? Just, tidying up some fallen trees and stacking the wood, getting exercise. I love doing that stuff. It's great. What do you value most in a friendship? Wow. Probably friends that stick around no matter what's going on in your life. Assuming you didn't do anything really bad. That's it. Wanting to hang out and stuff. Listening. That's good. Oh, he's twitching. Uh-oh. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? I would go to Ireland to see my buddy. Or if you have traveled, what was your favorite trip? Probably South Dakota a couple years ago. Do you speak any foreign language? I do not. What would you say is your worst fear? Ooh, that's a good question. Worst fear? It's probably being in a situation where I needed a weapon and did not have one available. So therefore, keep weapons all around, right? I've been in a situation like that once before where I did not have a weapon, and I said to myself, I'm not going to let this happen again. And I was able to get out because I more or less pretended I had a weapon, and I did, but it wasn't a great weapon. But I did, pretended, and they went away. And next time, I'm like, nope, next time I'm going to have some firepower. So I did that. Sometimes it takes a life event to change someone. Or I should say a life-changing event. It wasn't bad. It could have been bad, but it wasn't. Whenever you have a strong negative feeling, this could be sadness or anger, etc., how do you cope with it? Good question. I try not to react to that kind of stuff. I just try to get through it. Maybe watch a movie, hang out with some friends, grab a drink or whatever. Relaxing. Going outside when it's a nice sunny day, much like today. Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? Oh, Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses, assuming he would bring over unreleased or alternative mixes to Chinese democracy sessions. Can't talk. I'm overextending my abilities to talk for so long. How would you describe your personality? Let's see. I don't know if people would think I'm outgoing, and I kind of am. Socially, I don't know, personality. Positive, I guess. Positive is a good way to wrap it up. Best piece of advice you received? Be my grandfather on my dad's side is no longer with us. He said, never volunteer. And looking back, that's some good advice. I know it's good to volunteer, but he meant it in the general sense of the word. Did you ever volunteer for something and have it end up being an absolute show, a cluster? Yeah. What do you first notice about someone when you meet them? I pick up on eyes. I watch their eyes. Eyes, I don't know, they're just like the window into the soul. So the first thing I notice is eye color and sometimes orientation. Have you ever been scratched or bitten by a Cinnabon? Yes, on both. It seems like they always let you pet him without any objections. That's true, but you've seen him scratch and bite me a few times. When he's in the middle of playing, he'll bite by mistake or scratch. Or if he's mad, he'll bite. Sometimes he'll bite early on, he hasn't done this in like a year, but he'll bite my feet when he's mad at me. If I'm moving away from him when he wants something, he'll bite my feet. Do you watch other animal channels? Monkey Boo. I like Monkey Boo. The capuchin monkey. Does Cinnabon react to other cats? Yes, a little bit. He'll attack the monitor, though. Really? Did you get the one cat that doesn't jump on your table and countertops? Yeah, he doesn't. He'd maybe done it 5 times in his time here so far. He knows not to go on there, which is why I think he might have had another house before. He knows not to go on there. Is Cinnabon your first pet? He is in this house. Does Cinnabon know any tricks? We should teach him if he doesn't. Not really. As far as I know, he doesn't. Maybe. I never really thought of teaching a cat tricks like a dog, but maybe someday. You guys watch movies together a lot. Does Cinnabon ever react to the films? Yes. If there's a kid screaming, I think he might have been tormented by kids once because he'll run, try to get out of the house. Coyote sounds, he'll freak out because he's obviously a prey to coyote. So, my question is, as a former not a cat person, are you surprised by how big Cinnabon's personality is and the level of communication he can perform? Oh, absolutely. I never realized cats are so dynamic. How old does the vet think he is? They said he's young. That's pretty much all they said. What's the weirdest thing you've seen Cinnabon do? It's not really weird, but he picks up toys himself, drops them down the stairs, and watches them fall, and then attacks them. And also, I've seen him outside. Like he'll stick his feet in like a hole, or his paw in like a gopher hole or something. Then he'll move his hand really fast, then he'll just bolt and run away. It's just the weirdest thing. Like he's setting a fuse or dropping a firework and running. It's really funny. Did you grow up around firearms? Not really. I got into it when I was an adult. Do you carry? Yes, I do carry. Do you have an everyday carry? Yes, I do. And finally, do you have any future firearms content planned? Oh, I do. Did you have any pets before? I've already mentioned that. Do your neighbors know Cinnabon, or he spends time only at your house? I've seen him walk over around the neighbors before, but they definitely know it. He's mine. Does Cinnabon meow a lot like he does in the videos, or is he friendly towards guests? He does. He does meow at a lot of people. You gonna be good, buddy? I'm gonna leave you home alone for a couple hours, okay? You gonna be a good boy? Alright, we'll see you soon. Well, I am back home. Cinnabon really hasn't moved since I've left. It's been probably 3 hours. You doing okay, buddy? We're just about to continue on with the questions, but first I wanted to give a thank you to Leah Christine for drawing that awesome photo of Cinnabon and myself. You can see it's a cartoon that she drew, and it's the thumbnail of this video, so thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. Isn't that cool, Cinnabon? People just, yeah, it's some fan art, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the questions here. At what point did you decide to make Cinnabon the main focus of your channel? After his video went viral and people wanted updates, I thought, and I had posted updates before it went viral. Aw, you just shifting around? People asked for Cinnabon content they wanted, so I delivered. We delivered. So that's basically why I've made it the main focus. People like it, they like watching it, so, and they find, aw, look at his back feet, it's so funny. People enjoy it for many reasons, so that's why I continue to do Cinnabon content. It gets a lot of interest. Has Cinnabon slept with you in your bed, or do you discourage it? No, I encourage it. When he's in at night, he doesn't always stay. Usually he doesn't like to, but sometimes, like last night, he did stay for a while. Did you ever try to rub your face on Cinnabon's tummy? No, not really, because when you give him belly rubs, he normally likes it, but sometimes he'll like playfully attack, and I don't want him to do that. But I have rubbed my face on his cheek before. He likes that. How much... Oh, wow. This one's interesting. How much to buy Cinnabon? Serious question. Cinnabon is not for sale. And the same questioner expands, let's see. At the very least, entertain this hypothetical. If Cinnabon were to be sold in the open market, how much would you guess his market value is? I thought about this. It's a very strange question, but I don't know. No idea what Cinnabon is worth. He's worth more to me than I could ever sell him for. I know that much. Interesting question. Thanks for thinking outside of the box. Do you know what breed he is? He looks like he's part Maine Coon or Mogul. Mogul? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I always thought he was part Maine Coon. I don't know if he is for sure. I asked the vet and they said he's more than likely a domestic long hair, which makes sense. I'm thinking he probably has part Maine Coon or Norwegian Forest Cat, which is I think a type of Maine Coon, due to his personality and some of his outward traits. Is Cinnabon excited about the new Lion King? I don't know. Cinnabon, are you excited about the new Lion King movie? Okay, I think that's a yes. Look at that yawn. I certainly am. I think Cinnabon is too. I joked about taking him to the movies, but he would act like he does at the vet and he'd freak out. Would you ever contact the dodo to see if they'll take your story? No, I don't like reaching out to people for such purposes. I let them come to me, if anything. So if they were to come to me, depending on their... I guess depending on how I feel about it, I could do that. Please do vlogs on your and Cinnabon's daily life. That's kind of what I do with these videos. I'm a little overextended in what I do now, so I don't think I could do any more, but I try to capture the vlog feel in a lot of our videos. What first inspired your interest in guns? I wasn't really raised around them a whole lot. BB guns, we had that, and like toy guns. Probably movies and video games. It's American culture is more than likely what got me into it. What's your favorite topic in history? Probably American history, right? That's obviously direct. I also like some Asian history. like Japan and stuff. That's cool. Early Japan and China. I know in some of your other videos you have displays of certain historical stuff along with weapon pieces of the time. Do you like history in general, gun history, or both? A lot of them are a lot of history is tied in with firearms, so they kind of go together. So I would say both. A lot of my historical knowledge stems off of interest in firearms, which is kind of funny. But some people, it's with cars, right? It's whatever they're into. What do you think you like the most about cats? They're easy to take care of for the most part. They're pretty chill. I mean, he's been like doing this for a couple hours, sleeping or just cleaning himself. They're just very relaxed, aren't they? Yeah, they're easy to take care of. Do you think you only like Cinnabon, or do you see yourself adopting more kitties at some point? Oh, I definitely like other cats. When I'm at friends' houses, I have cats. They're always fun, assuming they don't run away. A lot of cats are skittish. Cinnabon's not so much indoors. He is outdoors sometimes with other people. Not so much me anymore. He used to be skittish with me outside and not inside. Oh, you saw something. Does Cinnabon have any weird quirks that he does? Oh yeah, I mentioned it before. Dropping stuff down the stairs and attacking it. Opening cupboards. That type of stuff. Do you have cute aggression with Cinnabon? I don't get what that means. Cute aggression. Like, do I get mad at him? Not really. What happened to Cinnabon's ear? This gets asked all the time. Cinnabon at one point was captured and brought to a vet, neutered, and then marked via getting his ear cut off, the tip of his ear cut off, then released. It's a humane method of marking a feral cat, letting people know that they've already been taken care of and neutered and released. So the concept is if they're a feral cat or abandoned or whatever, they live out the rest of their life and they don't reproduce, which is good because you don't want to have a bunch of kittens in similar situations. That's why his ear's cut. And I asked the vet to check it out to confirm, to make sure it wasn't like a frostbite episode or whatever. And she said yes, he was deliberately cut. You mentioned you need special shoes. That was kind of a joke when I said that. They're really not special shoes. They're just big. What size are your feet? Typically 13, plus or minus, depending on the shoe brand and such. Do you see Cinnabon as your buddy or your pet? More of a buddy, but he's both for sure. Does Cinnabon like fresh catnip? Yes, the catnip I gave him seems fresh. Well, I shouldn't say. Actually, you know what? I don't think it is fresh because it was dried. I never give him fresh catnip, I guess. Are there any problems with ticks in the wooded area where Cinnabon... Okay, that's just worded funny. I just copied and pasted these questions. I should have went through them. But basically, they're asking if there are ticks where Cinnabon likes to explore. Yes, there are, and I always monitor him. When I check him for burrs and pull burrs off, occasionally I'll get a tick in there. But when I give him his meds, usually the ticks I find on him are dead. But occasionally he'll get one attached and I just pull it out for him. It's not that hard. He doesn't seem to mind and knows I'm helping him. Little toe beans you can see. Are you going to make videos of you shooting weapons anymore? Yes, I just haven't gone shooting since the last time I posted gun videos, so we'll get some of those in the future, don't worry. Is Cinnabon a ladies' man? Yes, he is. He likes ladies. Would you ever bathe the Cinnabon or get his fur clippered at a vet? No. Any snakes in your area like we have here in Australia? Yes. Yes, there are lots of snakes here, but they're garter snakes. The only venomous snake in Michigan is the Michigan rattler, the eastern Massasauga. I'm pronouncing that wrong, probably. But they're very docile and they're rare. I've never seen one in person. What's Cinnabon's favorite food? This question probably comes from overseas based on the spelling of favorite. So, he wet cat food, as I mentioned before. Do you believe in the supernatural? Yes, I do. I guess any Christian would, right? Technically. But aside from that, yes, I do believe that. Do you feel more close to cats ever since Cinnabon came into your life? For example, do you pet other cats if an opportunity comes up? Absolutely, yes. I've always liked them, though. I pet them if I can. I like animals in general, so. What gave you the idea to review MREs? Well, it was a request, and there's another channel out there, Steve MRE 89, I think it is, 1989, something. I've watched his videos before. That was inspiration. A lot of you picked up on that. Hi, do you want to see me? Yes. Oh, you can hop in my lap if you want. He's gonna get food. I'm used to him and what he does. Want to get some food or water? That's quite all right. Wow, this is a good question. It's kind of scary. What would you do if someone kidnapped Cinnabon and you weren't actually aware of it? So what would you do if Cinnabon disappeared? You just thought maybe Cinnabon just stopped coming home, and it was actually because someone kidnapped Cinnabon. That's a good question. It's scary. It very well could happen. I would first start with the neighbors, put some flyers up, check Craigslist, the newspaper. I'd do my best to try to find him. It's scary thinking about it. Does he like other animals? The ones that are too big to kill, he doesn't seem to really like them. I've seen him near other animals and him not care, but I've also seen him attack those same animals. I've seen him attack raccoons and possums. But other cats, generally he acts aggressively towards them because he's territorial. So overall, not really. The ones he doesn't kill, he doesn't typically like. How does it feel to have a house that came with a cat for free? It feels fantastic. Have you thought of having a poster of him to hang on the wall? Not really. I haven't gone that far. Did you check if Cinnabon has a microchip? I did not. Does Cinnabon hunt much? And if so, what does he bring in? My cat is very fond of catching me voles. I've had him caught at least one vole and leave it for me before. He does hunt all the time, and he does bring in mice for me mostly. He'll leave mice parts, but typically he just leaves an incomplete mouse dead in the driveway or something. I'm pretty sure Cinny is fixed, but for the sake of the question, let's pretend he isn't. What would be your reaction if you woke up one morning and he's waiting outside the door with a pregnant lady cat? Wow, that would be amazing. I don't know. I would, after the kittens were born, I'd bring him to the vet to have them for them to find homes for him and maybe keep one. Kind of cute. Have a little Cinnabon baby. And of course I'd keep the lady cat around too. Get her fixed right after she has the babies or whatever. And get the new kitten fixed too. Would you consider putting Cinnabon... Oh, okay, this is also worded funny. Okay, basically, would you consider giving Cinnabon a collar with your name and number? Yeah, but I don't know of a safe way to do that. There's breakaways, but I'm not sure if that would work. Do you think Cinnabon is at risk of fleas? Yes, I'm sure he is. That's why I give him flea and tick meds. What made you share Cinnabon on YouTube? I had a YouTube channel that wasn't really that popular. It had mostly gun stuff, but I don't know. I had some cool videos of a cat. I'd like to share them with people, and eventually people liked them, so that's basically why I did it. Do you know if your subscribers are worldwide? I've been meaning to look at this, but yes, they are. There's a lot in Europe, of course, a few in Russia, Germany, Philippines, Indonesia. I'm trying to think of other ones. Oh, England is another big one. The United Kingdom. America is about 50% of my audience. Last time I looked at the stats, it was split in the middle, 50-50 male-female audience. Are you single or married? I am single. Here's a good one. Yes, I give him catnip. What words has Cinnabon learned? I swear I heard him say yeah once when I asked him a question. It sounded like his meow was a yeah, but I don't really know. But I think really they mean, does he know words like when I say something? I think he does, but I don't really know. He probably does. Do you normally let YouTube automatically choose your thumbnails, or do you choose them? Oh, I used to let YouTube do it more. Occasionally I'll see a YouTube one and think it's better than the thumbnail I create, but generally I like to create them for consistency. But YouTube has a goofy algorithm with that too. They pick some good ones, so I go with them. Or include what they picked in my thumbnail if I have multiple photos. Do you get bored or tired reading the regurgitation of the same thing said over and over again in the comment section? A little bit, but it's not a big deal. I don't expect everyone to watch all the videos, of course, so it's not bad. I don't mind. I'm pretty patient. And a lot of them I just don't even respond to because I can't. Have you seen Vancouver yet? I have not seen Canada. I think that's Canada. What is your zodiac sign? I'm a Capricorn. If you were to dye your hair, which color would it be? Probably, I don't really like dyeing. I don't know. I want it, so I would dye it very close to what it really is. Brown then, I guess. What is your holy grail gun? What a great question, my goodness. Probably a real, assuming no legal issues, like if I had like a pass. If I had a pass for any gun, and it would probably be an HK G11. It has 3 modes of fire, semi-automatic, 3-round burst that fires at 2,000 rounds per minute, so it sounds like one shot, but it's 3. Then it has a 600 rounds per minute automatic. The ammunition's near impossible to find, but assuming if all that was taken care of, I totally have that. Rather than setting up a P.O. box, how about setting up a thing where folks can donate to a cat charity like you, or that you like? I thought about that. I may do that. Favorite color is blue or purple? Thank you. That's a good question. I ask people that all the time. Is Cinnabon a picky eater? Yes. But with cat food, he's consistent. What are his favorite treats to eat? Treats, what are they called? I forget the brand. It's Friskies, I think. He loves Friskies. How did he do in the ride to the vet? Well, he did okay, considering he didn't vomit or use the bathroom or anything. But he was howling the entire time, so he did all right. Expected, I guess. It was not fun for either of us. Was he quiet on the way home? No, he was about the same. What's your favorite MRE meal ready to eat? It's military surplus. And also, what's your favorite meal you cooked for yourself? Oh, my favorite MRE was the last one I had. Well, I've only had like 3 or 4 of them, but it was chili macaroni. It was great. The best food I ever cooked for myself, I guess it's not always together in a meal, but I can make a mean asparagus, which is easy. Morel mushrooms is my favorite. When I get morels, that's the best tasting food I can prepare. You just pan fry them, butter and salt. Clean them before salt. Clean them with salt water first. But the best actual food I've done that I can do any time of year is pan fried salmon, which is also pretty easy. So that is the extent of my culinary abilities thus far. How are you? I'm doing well, thank you. Hobbies, okay. Obviously, firearms, history, movies. Uh-oh. We have a spider in the house. Do you see it? Cinnabon, we got a spider. I think. It appears to be a wolf spider. We'll take care of that. Hey, buddy. Took care of the spider, and by take care of, I did not kill him or her. I released them outside on my deck. So, in case you're wondering, I did not kill the spider. Hobbies. We're talking about hobbies. Gosh, I wouldn't say I'm an avid coin collector. I collect, if I get a weird dollar bill, I'll keep it. Something cool. A lot of collecting. I like to go antique places and look for stuff. Collect old books. Anything with history or interest to me. Working on cars is fun sometimes. This time of year it's hot and I hate doing it. I like working outside in the woods. That's a big hobby of mine. Cutting down dead trees or trees that are going to be a problem. Has Cinnabon put on some weight now? Yeah, in a healthy way. He's heavier than he used to be because he was too thin. So he's put on healthy weight, I would say. The vet said he was totally fine. In the winter, people said he was fat, but he wasn't. He just had a lot of fur. Have you ever seen Cinnabon interact with other animals? Yes, I've mentioned that earlier today. Such as other outside cats, yes, or dogs. Dogs, not really. Theo barks a lot at him, so they don't get very close to each other. Did you grow up with any pets? Yes, we grew up with German Shepherds for the most part. Nice dogs. Did you attend college, Lex? Yes, I did. University, I guess. Same thing, basically. If you were to ever move houses, would you take Cinnabon with you? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Does Cinnabon like the kisses on the forehead or the cheek, etc.? Yes, he seems to. In a previous video, the other guy said something about cats getting their ears clipped being commonplace where you are. Is that true? If yes, that's not so cool. I've explained before, it's not done just to be mean or anything or disfigure like people do that to, they cut their pit bull's ears and tails off for various reasons. Which I don't know anything about. I think it's weird, but I'm sure there's probably a reason that people debate for centuries, so I'm not going to get into that because I don't really care. But anyway, yeah, it's not done just for any... It's only done to mark the cat so other people know it's already been neutered. Have you tried to do clicker training with Cinnabon? No, I have not. That's interesting. Will you feed Cinnabon wet cat food every day? They're asking if I ever will. Yeah, we're almost at that point now. He gets it almost every day. So, yes, I'm sure I will. What a good kitty cat. Thank you all so much for watching again. And I also wanted to thank you for the questions. Thanks for keeping it clean, too. I know a lot of kids watch this with their parents, so I appreciate that. I'm sure they do, too. And thanks again for joining Cinnabon and I on another Q&A adventure. And in general, all of our adventures. So I don't want to move him around. I was going to pick him up and show you some stuff, but I don't want to bother him right now any more than I am. So thanks again, and I hope you all have a great Sunday afternoon. or night. By the time I post the video, it's probably going to be night. So thank you all again, and have a blessed beginning of your week. Bye-bye.